A pair of jeans, a shirt or two. We didn't pack as if we weren't going back. It doesn't matter if it's true. I've got a feeling love will give us what we lack. The world is waiting up. The world is waiting half a step beyond.
Hey guys, welcome back. It's been a while since I made a video from this location. This is literally my favorite cafe near my area. And you probably remember I made many videos from here. They opened again, I think 3 days ago. So I've been coming back. Anyways, very quick on the price of Bitcoin and altcoins. So for the price of Bitcoin, we're still above 9,000, like in my last video. Last time I checked now before I left the house, it was at 9,300. And the price has been holding it's been holding there at around 9,000 for about a week. I believe 6 or 7 days. It's been holding at 9,000 like a boss. So I don't think we reached a local top here, mainly because usually when there's a parabolic move, whether it's in the upside or in the downside, when the price reaches a local top or a local bottom, it gets rejected heavily, and you usually have a vertical candle in the opposite direction and a high spike of volume. We haven't seen this. Usually when the price consolidates, so if the price has been going up and then it starts consolidating, this usually signals continuation. So in this case, continuation is in the upside because the price is coming from down up, consolidate, and now it's suggesting it will continue in the same direction, up in the upside. It happens the other way as well. If the price goes down, especially if there's a dramatic drop and then starts consolidating at the bottom, it usually indicates continuation. In that case, continuation would be in the downside. So of course, this is not, it's not the case 100% of the times. Markets can do anything. But for right now, I think there's going to be continuation in the upside. Maybe a little bit more consolidation at 9,000 for the next few days / weeks. I don't know exactly when, but I think it's going to consolidate for a little longer and then continue to push in the upside. I don't have a specific target in the upside. I get asked a lot, what would be the target? I don't have a target. The only two obvious levels are the previous levels of resistance, which is the first one is at 10,500 more or less, and the next one is at 14,000. Those are the two obvious levels of resistance in the upside, horizontal resistance. So that's what I have, but I don't have a specific target. I only assume continuation. I have been saying this for a long time. Assume continuation for now until we have other signals on the chart pointing to a reversal. For example, volume, patterns, something like that. But for now, I haven't seen anything that's suggesting a reversal, so I continue to assume continuation. Now, I get asked a lot also about the altcoins, especially Bitcoin Cash, because here on my channel, I have been covering Bitcoin Cash. I've been very constant covering Bitcoin Cash, and now I stopped covering Bitcoin Cash for quite some time. But really, guys, nothing changed in my opinion. My opinion didn't change on Bitcoin Cash. My position didn't change on Bitcoin Cash. But the reason I'm not covering it so much is because usually people that comes to my channel is because they are very interested in price action. And I don't think we're going to have a lot of price action on the altcoins in general. I believe we are entering this phase where Bitcoin starts to go up gradually, not parabolic yet, but constantly going up, while the altcoins are going sideways. And I think, of course, I don't have a crystal ball to see the future, but I think this is going to be the case for the next few months at the least, until Bitcoin starts to break main levels of resistance, namely 14,000 and then 20,000, the previous all-time high. So I think until Bitcoin starts to break these main levels of resistance, and I believe when it does, it's going to start to go parabolic, then after that is when the altcoins are going to run. And I'm assuming this because that's what happened in the previous cycle 4 years ago. And I believe cryptocurrencies go in 4-year cycles, like many people believe this. It comes from the halving and from previous history, basically. So I think history is going to continue to repeat, and I think altcoins are going to run, like I said, when Bitcoin breaks, significant levels of resistance, 14K maybe, and if not, 20K. But when and if we get there, then I'll take it from there, because anything can change anytime, really. Markets can do anything, so we can only take it day by day. Another thing I wanted to comment for the price of Bitcoin is, if we look at the longest history that we have for the price of Bitcoin, if we believe that the trend is going to continue, the trend that we've been following since 2011, if this trend is going to continue, which as of now there's no reason to believe it won't, we are right now at support. We are at very, very low prices still. For people who are interested in investing for the long term, like myself, this is, in my opinion, a very good time to continue to dollar cost average and accumulate if you intend to buy and hold for the next few years. Now, for the short term, if you're doing short-term trading just to make quick money, then obviously I would not buy today after the price has gone from 4,000 to 9,000 in 2 months. We didn't have one single red candle on the monthly chart, and I believe in the weekly chart, we didn't have one single red candle for the past 2 months. So obviously, right now is not the time to buy if you want to make quick money. If you want to do the short-term trading, I wouldn't be buying today. But for the long term, if we look at the longest history for the price of Bitcoin, we are very, very low. We're basically at support right now. So it's prime time to accumulate, continue to accumulate, and dollar cost average. So that's that for the price. Now, regarding the lockdown situation, the situation doesn't look all that good. And guys, usually I'm a very positive thinker, but I mean, I've been talking about this situation for a few weeks now. And it was obvious from day one that the measures that were taken are completely out of proportion. That's obvious. It was obvious from day one, but now every day it gets more and more obvious. Every day, more and more doctors are coming out of the closet now to tell the truth. Now we know that no one is dying. At least no more people are dying than the people that died in the 2018 seasonal regular flu. So they shut down the entire economy just for a seasonal flu. This is devastating for millions, if not billions of people. Now we have data from countries that didn't implement lockdowns, for example, Sweden. I talked about Sweden, I think 3 weeks ago here on my channel. I said that if you look at the rate of infection in Sweden, you will see Sweden didn't implement lockdowns, right? And the rate of infection follows the exact same pattern as other countries that implemented very strict lockdowns, namely the United States, for example, or many other countries. So you see, from the moment of the outbreak in the specific area, in the specific country, you have 4 to 6 weeks where the rate of infection goes up exponential, and then it reaches a tops out, and then it starts to go down. I covered this 3 weeks ago. And guys, go back, watch the video and read the comments. How many people told me in the comments in that video that Sweden was headed for disaster, that Sweden didn't, the rate of infection in Sweden didn't top out. It was going to continue to go exponential because they refused lockdowns. Well, look at the rate of infection now in Sweden 3 weeks after. It's way down. It's way down. It's following the exact same patterns, the exact same pattern as any other country with very strict lockdowns. And now that we have hard data, now that we have evidence that the lockdowns are not effective in any way, governments continue to implement lockdowns. Countries are still on lockdowns. on lockdown. Here in Thailand, for example, which is it's not the worst country to be on lockdown, to be honest. That, you know, there's other countries that are way worse, but still it's very bad. Now they are, for the past, I think, couple of days or something like that, they are allowing restaurants to open now, but they have to follow social distancing laws, which means a small or medium-sized restaurant, which usually would have like 8 or 9 tables, now they can only have 2 or 3 tables because they have to keep the tables very separate from each other. So obviously restaurants are not opening because how can they stay in business if they're not allowed to operate at normal capacity? Businesses here or in many other countries, they barely survive if they operate at normal or maximum capacity. How are they supposed to stay afloat if they're not allowed to operate at normal capacity, and now they can have only 2 or 3 tables instead of 8 or 9? Obviously, they're not going to cover expenses. They cannot make enough money to pay rent, to pay salaries, to pay back the loans to the bank, to pay taxes, to pay all the basic expenses. How are these businesses supposed to stay afloat? It's just impossible. In Thailand, I think by the official numbers, even the official numbers by the government, 50 people have died from this thing. How long it's been now? 3 months? 50 people in the whole country. This is even by the official numbers. And they still putting pressure in medium-sized businesses like restaurants. They're not letting them operate at normal capacity. This is just, it's too obvious that they're doing this on purpose to destroy people and businesses. I cannot understand why, unless it's just for the sake of destroying people just because they can. I always knew that governments are bad. Governments lie. Since forever I knew that you're going to do a lot better in life if you do completely the opposite of what the government tells you to do. That's been my rule for many, many years, and I've done a lot better in life since I followed this rule. But this time, they're pushing it like to extremes that I've never seen before. And it's beyond me how so many people don't see this. What's going to take for people to open their eyes and wake up and see that they're doing this on purpose to destroy people? My battery is about to die, so I'm gonna have to leave it here. We will continue this conversation in the next one. Thank you guys very much for watching, and see you soon. Bye.